In the dead of a New England winter, a young woman packs a bag, tells her professors there's been a death in the family, a lie, and drives north toward the mountains. Then, on a remote snow-covered road, she vanishes. Her car is found, lights on, doors locked. But Maura Murray is gone. There are no footprints in the fresh snow, no signs of a struggle. It's as if she was plucked from the earth by a ghost. This isn't the opening scene of a horror movie. It's the beginning of a mystery that has haunted investigators and the public for 2 decades. What happened to Maura Murray on that dark, lonely road? Maura Murray was a picture of promise. A 21-year-old nursing student at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. She was a standout athlete from West Point, known for her bright smile and determined spirit. To her friends and family, she was dependable, loving, and driven. She dreamed of being a nurse, of helping people. But beneath the surface, cracks were beginning to show. Just days before she disappeared, Maura was involved in a minor car accident. She had also been caught using a stolen credit card, though the charges were set to be dismissed. A few nights before she left, she had a late-night emotional phone call with her sister that left her catatonic for hours. Her father, Fred, had just visited, and they had gone car shopping. He'd given her $4,000 in cash to help with the purchase. Everything seemed normal, yet everything was unraveling. Why would a young woman with a future so bright suddenly drive away from it all? Was she running from something, or was she running toward a secret rendezvous that went horribly wrong? On the afternoon of Monday, February 9th, 2004, Maura Murray emptied her bank account, packed a bag with clothes, toiletries, and her college textbooks, and got into her black 1996 Saturn. She emailed her professors and work supervisor, fabricating a story about a death in the family to explain her absence. She called a condo rental in Bartlett, New Hampshire, a place her family had vacationed before, but didn't make a reservation. She then stopped at an ATM and a liquor store, purchasing about $40 worth of alcohol. Her final destination remains unknown. Her journey took her north on Interstate 91 into the heart of New Hampshire's White Mountains. As dusk settled around 7:27 p.m., a resident on Route 112 in Haverhill heard a loud bang. Looking out her window, she saw a car, Maura's Saturn, crashed into a snowbank. She called the police. A passing school bus driver, Butch Atwood, stopped and spoke to the driver. He saw a young woman who seemed cold and shaken, but uninjured. She told him not to call the police, claiming she had already called for roadside assistance. Another lie, as cell service was non-existent in that area. Atwood drove home just 100 yards away and called 911 anyway. By the time the first police cruiser arrived, less than 10 minutes later, the car was there, locked. The airbags were deployed. A box of wine was spilled on the passenger seat, but Maura Murray was gone. The initial hours of the investigation were chaotic and confusing. Police treated it as a potential drunk driving incident, assuming Maura had simply walked away to avoid a DUI. They searched the immediate vicinity, following the road in both directions, but found nothing. There were no footprints leading into the dense, snow-covered woods that lined the road. It was as if she had vanished into thin air. Her father, Fred, arrived the next day, frantic with worry. He knew his daughter. She was tough, a runner, capable of surviving in the cold, but she wouldn't just disappear. The search expanded, with dogs, helicopters, and volunteers combing the area. The dogs followed a scent for about 100 yards east of the crash site before it abruptly stopped, suggesting Maura may have gotten into another vehicle. But who was driving it? Was it someone she knew, or a complete stranger who stopped to offer a ride? The possibilities were as chilling as the winter air. The first crucial 48 hours passed with no sign of Maura, and the case quickly turned from a missing person search into a potential criminal investigation. As days turned into weeks, the investigation became a labyrinth of strange clues and baffling dead ends. Maura's personal life came under intense scrutiny, revealing details that painted a more complex picture. Had her recent troubles, the car accident, the credit card issue, her emotional breakdown, pushed her to stage her own disappearance? Some theorized she had a tandem driver, a secret accomplice who picked her up after the crash as part of a prearranged plan to start a new life, perhaps in Canada. This theory gained traction when it was discovered she had packed her birth control and other personal items. Then there was the infamous rag in the tailpipe. Police found a piece of cloth stuffed into the Saturn's exhaust pipe. Was this an old trick to cause a car to stall? Something Maura's father might have told her to do to fool an officer if pulled over? Or did someone else put it there, perhaps to disable her car and stage the crash? The bus driver, Butch Atwood, became a person of interest, but was quickly cleared. Another local resident reported seeing a person with a lit cigarette moving quickly on foot down the road just before the crash. Was this Maura or someone else lurking in the shadows? Every lead seemed to spiral into another question, another dead end, pulling investigators deeper into a fog of uncertainty. For years, the case remained cold, fueled only by internet speculation and amateur sleuths. Then, a few potential breakthroughs offered glimmers of hope. In 2012, a YouTube video surfaced, posted by a user named 112 Dirtbag, 2 months after the anniversary of Maura's disappearance. The video showed a man laughing maniacally and ended with the text, "Happy Anniversary." The user later claimed it was a sick joke, but it sent a chill through the online community. Could it have been a taunt from someone involved? A more concrete lead emerged from a nearby house. Contractors working on a home less than a mile from the crash site found what appeared to be a blood stain on a closet floor. Samples were taken for DNA testing. The family and public waited with bated breath. Could this be the location where Maura met her end? The DNA results came back, but they weren't a match for Maura. Another door closed. Years later, new radar technology was used to scan the cellar of that same house, prompted by cadaver dogs that had repeatedly alerted to the area. The scan identified an anomaly, something unusual buried beneath the concrete floor. The suspense was unbearable. Was Maura's final resting place finally about to be revealed? The excavation of the cellar floor became the focal point of the entire investigation. True crime enthusiasts, journalists, and Maura's family watched, hoping for an answer, yet dreading what they might find. After carefully breaking through the concrete and digging into the earth below, investigators uncovered nothing. It was just soil and disturbed ground. The anomaly was likely a pipe or a natural variation in the dirt. The collective hope that had swelled around this lead deflated instantly, leaving behind a familiar, aching emptiness. The climax of this long-awaited search was a non-event, another dead end in a case defined by them. The breakthrough that everyone believed was just within reach had evaporated, leaving the central question hanging heavier than ever. If Maura wasn't in that cellar, where was she? The failure to find anything only deepened the sinister nature of her disappearance. She had vanished from a public road in a window of less than 10 minutes, and 2 decades of searching had yielded not a single clue as to her whereabouts. 20 years later, the disappearance of Maura Murray remains one of the most haunting mysteries in modern American history. There is no body, no crime scene, and no confession. Her case is a ghost story, a cautionary tale whispered in the digital age. Did she succumb to the elements after wandering into the woods, lost and disoriented? Was she the victim of a random, opportunistic predator who happened to be driving that same dark road? Or did she successfully orchestrate her own disappearance, starting a new life somewhere under a different name, leaving her loved ones to wrestle with a question that may never be answered? Her father, Fred, has never stopped searching, walking the roads of New Hampshire, pleading for information. The digital footprint she left behind, the emails, the web searches, the phone calls, offers a portrait of a young woman in distress, but it doesn't provide a conclusion. The mystery of Maura Murray endures, a chilling reminder that sometimes people can just vanish, leaving behind only questions and the cold, silent snow. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more deep dives into cases that demand to be remembered.